Welcome to the Lodge. From the riverbanks to the end zones, we're diving deep into everything that matters most to the colony. You're listening to State of the Beavers. I'm your host, Brian, and whether you're a diehard alum, a nature enthusiast, or just here for the ecosystem, we've got you covered. Today on the show, we're breaking down the latest headlines, checking the pulse of the community, and asking the big questions that define our state today. Grab your gear, a beer, and settle in. It's time to gnaw through the noise. This is the State of the Beavers, starting right now. This podcast is presented by Pine Valley Auto Group. From rugged trucks to everyday commuters, find your drive at Pine Valley.
Welcome to The Explainer. And wow, today, are we unpacking a truly wild week in college football?
Okay, so let's just dive right into this, because the entire landscape of the 2025 season was just completely rewritten. I mean, everything we thought we knew got totally scrambled in the span of just a few hours this past Saturday.
Well, Week 10 gave us a pretty clear answer, didn't it? We saw a series of absolutely stunning upsets that sent shockwaves through the rankings. So let's start right there with the upheaval and see exactly which games caused the most damage. All right, let's get into the results that really sparked all this madness. We're talking 3 top 10 teams, 3 legitimate title contenders, and all of them went down in pretty spectacular and very different fashion. The biggest shock of them all, number 1, South Carolina went down on the road. They were just plagued by these costly turnovers, and, a super fired-up Ole Miss team made them pay for every single mistake. And just like that, the top of the mountain was empty. And they weren't the only top 10 team to get stunned. In their own building, Texas fell hard. I mean, Vanderbilt's defense put on an absolute masterclass. They completely shut down the Longhorns' high-powered offense and just silenced that entire home crowd.
And then, in a pivotal conference rivalry, Clemson didn't just lose, they were run off the field by Duke. This wasn't some squeaker, it was a 31-point statement win that absolutely nobody saw coming. And it might just be signaling a power shift in the conference.
So, after all the dust settled, who cashed in on the chaos and who paid the price? Well, the new rankings tell a pretty fascinating story of opportunity and consequence.
Let's see how this all shakes out in the new poll, because the ripple effects were massive. For every giant that stumbled, another team was right there, ready to surge forward and take its place.
This chart really highlights how some teams capitalized. I mean, look at Duke. Their dominant win launched them a massive 9 spots, right into the top 10. And while other teams were falling, Ohio State just quietly climbed 7 spots, re-entering the national conversation.
And of course, here's the other side of the coin, a stunning fall from grace. Clemson plummeted 9 spots out of the top 15. Meanwhile, Texas and the former number 1 team, South Carolina, both tumbled 8 spots, completely altering their playoff paths. Amidst all that chaos, SMU just handled their business. They had a top 10 showdown with Miami, they put up 45 points, and they left no doubt. And what was their reward? Climbing to the top spot for the very first time this season. The Mustangs now control their own destiny. The shakeup didn't just affect the teams. It completely reshaped the race for the sport's most prestigious individual award. Let me tell you, the Heisman leaderboard looks very different today than it did just last week.
A new leader has totally emerged from the chaos. With his team's rise to number 1 in a stellar performance, SMU's quarterback, Kevin Jennings, has vaulted to the top of the list. Meanwhile, you can see Arch Manning's campaign took a major hit with that Texas loss, dropping him all the way to 5th.
So, Jennings now has that perfect combination that voters just love. He's got elite stats on the number 1 team, plus a really compelling story. His 370-yard, 3-touchdown performance against the top 10 Miami team, that was a true Heisman moment. Right now, the trophy is his to lose.
But, as prestigious as the Heisman is, we all know the ultimate goal is a national championship. The chaos of Week 10 has completely redrawn the map, so let's take a look at the crucial road ahead for the teams that are still in the hunt. All eyes are going to be on this prime-time top 5 showdown. undefeated Texas Tech is facing its toughest test of the year against a very dangerous BYU team. The winner here is in the driver's seat for a first-round bye in the playoffs. Stakes don't get much higher.
And beyond that main event, some key games could cause even more chaos. Florida State travels to a wounded but still proud Clemson. And we have two major upset alerts. Heisman candidate Fernando Mendoza takes Indiana into a hostile environment at Penn State, and Oregon faces a classic trap game on the road at Iowa. So this is it. This is the prize they're all fighting for. After all that chaos, let's see how the 12-team college football playoff field currently stands.
All right, so the new top four, SMU, Texas Tech, Georgia, and Michigan. They'd get that crucial first-round bye, but just look at those first-round matchups. The former number one South Carolina would now have to play an opening round game on the road at Notre Dame. That is the brutal cost of one bad Saturday.
And that's the question on everyone's mind, isn't it? This picture is just a snapshot in time. If last week taught us anything, it's that all of this is temporary. In college football, every single Saturday matters, and the chaos, well, the chaos is likely just getting started.
Welcome to the debate. Today we're looking at Corvallis. The number 22 Oregon State Beavers are 8-1. They're hosting Minnesota, and the Week 11 scouting report has suddenly flipped. The narrative on Coach Ward has gone from rebuilt to national contender. So here's the real question. Has this program genuinely arrived as a disciplined powerhouse, or is all this sudden national attention and the noise about conference politics a major distraction? I'm going to argue that Oregon State has successfully shifted its entire identity into a legitimate destination program.
And I'm taking the position that this is, well, a classic case of hubris. The record looks great, sure, but between a depleted conference schedule and the sheer instability of installing massive new playbooks in Week 11, I see a team that's looking right past a very, very dangerous opponent.
Okay, but let's start with the reality on the field. You can't fake a 45-0 shutout of Washington State. That wasn't just a win, it was a suffocation. Coach Ward's whole step-over or stepped-on mentality has clearly taken hold. He's been transparent about building what he calls a destination hub, not just another plucky underdog story. And by switching to Gabari Johnson at quarterback, he stabilized the offense. Defensively, they're allowing just under 16 points a game. That is elite execution, and it proves they can handle the weight of being a ranked favorite.
Context, though. Context is everything. That elite defense is, it's feasting in a vacuum. We have to acknowledge this unique two-team conference reality the Beavers are living in now. They aren't running a Power 4 gauntlet every week. And now, right when the stakes are highest, Ward is introducing what he calls the Old Testament, a massive, complex installation of new defensive schemes. In November? That just signals a profound lack of focus on the immediate threat. He's trying to rewrite the Bible when he should just be reading the scouting report.
See, I disagree that it's a lack of focus. It's evolution. He calls it the Old Testament because it's foundational, not just decorative. Look, Ward's recruiting strategy is specific. He finds 3-star talent and develops them to play like 5 stars. To bridge that talent gap against the top-tier programs, you need schematic complexity. He isn't changing the foundation because it's weak. He's expanding it because he wants to prove they can stay at the top. If you stand still schematically, you get solved.
But complexity is the enemy of speed, especially against a team like Minnesota. P.J. Fleck is coming to town, and he is the archetype of the master motivator. Minnesota, they don't rely on flash, they rely on structure. They want to grind you down. And if Oregon State's defenders are thinking about new Old Testament coverages instead of just reacting, well, Minnesota will absolutely expose them. Sources inside the department are even calling this install extreme. You just don't renovate the foundation of a house while a storm is coming.
I think you're underestimating the mental durability they've already shown, though. The hot seat talk has been there all year, and the team just keeps responding. Gabari Johnson gives them a dual threat spark that historically Minnesota really struggles with. And as for the distraction, let's talk about the conference realignment buzz. Ward is openly discussing a 5th power conference, bringing in teams like Boise State and Fresno State. That isn't a distraction. That's visionary leadership. He's telling his players, I am fighting for your future playoff access. That creates buy-in.
It creates headlines. It doesn't create buy-in. That's administrative work, not coaching work.
When the head coach is focused on being the architect of a new conference, adding Liberty, Toledo, UNLV, that focus or lack of it trickles down. Minnesota will not care about Oregon State's fifth power aspirations. They care about hitting people in the mouth. This is the ultimate trap setup. One team is reading its own press clippings about saving college football, and the other team is reading the run fits.
And I would argue that motivation matters more than the optics. Ward is proving that Oregon State isn't a layover, it's the destination. Week 11 is the proof of concept. If they execute here, amidst all the noise, the Old Testament install, the conference talks, they validate the entire vision.
Or they prove that you can't execute a vision for the future if you fumble the present. I fear they're leaving themselves vulnerable to a very physical upset because they're trying to win next year's narrative instead of Saturday's game.
Well, ultimately, we're about to find out if the culture Ward has built can sustain that us against the world mentality, especially now that the world is finally starting to agree with them.
That's true. It's easy to be the hunter. It's much harder to be the hunted, especially when you're busy trying to redesign the whole forest.
Welcome to Corvallis, Reser Stadium, home of the Oregon State Beavers. As we'll see a squad from the Big Ten, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, taking on the winners of 3 straight, the Oregon State Beavers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. And the Beavers will put total leather to crank us up. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. So the Minnesota Golden Gophers offense takes the field for the first time today. We have got a tremendous matchup between these two running backs, both stars in their own right, and David, both ready to make a huge impact.
I mean, how fun is it to have 2 guys, one on each side, when they have the football, like they can go the distance. Just dynamic speed, great vision. These defenses are in trouble because these guys can touch it a bunch of different ways. And Palmer, they can hit home runs from anywhere on the field.
And I think what makes them really unique too, David, is that they're very versatile guys. Both guys can run between the tackle box. They can take it outside. They can both catch the football as well. So no doubt the game plan for both offenses, feed the running back as many different ways as possible and just let him go to work.
That's reeled in. It's Coleman. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down.
And you got man-to-man coverage. You're running that curl route. That ball has to come out. You know you're going to get hit. Like, you know you stopped your route. He's going to be right there. He does a great job securing the catch, getting the first down.
That's caught. It's Taylor. And a good job of coverage by that defense. Just a short pickup. Well, he comes up with the reception, but not a lot of room to run after that.
Yeah, and I like the QB doing this. I mean, I'm going to find ways to give him the football and see if he can make a miss. And I'm going to bet most of the time that my guy is a little bit more athletic than that defensive guy. Defense won this battle, but I like trying to get this guy the ball in space.
I'll tell you, man, I love quarterbacks that have arm talent, but that can throw it accurately at the same time. And you saw all of it on that in route.
Use the play fake, now to throw. Working the middle, it's complete. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker.
This quarterback right now is in a groove, and he's doing a nice job in pre-snap. He's reading the coverage, and he's getting an idea of where he wants to go with the football. That's why the ball's coming out of his hands so quickly. And that's why he seems like he's in a great rhythm right now.
Tough run, gets it into the red zone, and they've knocked him down at the 17.
You've got to be loving what you're seeing from your offense here on the opening drive of this game. They're in a really nice rhythm. They've got real good balance going on right now, and they've got the defense on their heels.
Off the play fake. Caught behind the line. It's Taylor. Touchdown, Golden Gophers! Made the grab and took it on in for the score. You want to talk about a great way to start the game and set the tone early.
It's so nice to have a quarterback just get himself into the game and get himself established. You make a couple throws, you lead your offense down the field, you score right off the bat. Could not have been a better start for that QB.
Setting up for the extra point after the first score of the game. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. That is an efficient drive. 7 plays, 75 yards. And the score comes on a 17-yard throw for the touchdown. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So Oregon State's offense will go to work for the first time today. Johnson wants to throw it. Got his man. And they bring him down quickly, but a good game there.
Not wasting any time. You just watch the opponent go down on their first drive and score a touchdown. So right away, you're aggressive. You're throwing the football on your first play of the game, and you're getting a nice completion. Really nice job.
And he got a hand in there, knocks it away, incomplete.
Yeah, and great job by the linebacker understanding what to do in zone coverage. I drop, I take my steps. When that quarterback's feet get set, my feet get set. I break on the football. Nice break. Way to go break that up and swat it down.
Oh, he's got some space.
Big third down conversion, getting the ball to your running back, and he does the rest. This guy, I think, will get a lot more touches.
And you want to know why he's on the field on third down? Because he can block, he can catch the ball, and you can also hand it off to him, and he can go find the sticks and keep drives alive. What a weapon.
And it wasn't lack of effort by the running back. He was trying. You could tell he fought one guy off, but another guy in his face right away, just trying to do something. The offensive line needs to do a better job keeping some guys off his guy. Come on, man. Take care of your running back.
The sure hands. It's Hankerson. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Going to try to get it himself. At the 40, there he goes. And he'll ramble to the 34 before he's finally knocked down. The Beavers are flying down the field. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. That's caught. It's walked. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
Yeah, and that was tough on the DB, right? He's trying to cover the receiver on a drag route, running back over the middle of the field. You're trying to avoid all the linebackers, all the congestion. He just couldn't stay with them long enough, and as a result, fresh set of downs for the offense.
He almost punched it in for 6. They'll get him down at the 1-yard line.
I think it's really important for this offense. They get this guy going early in the game, and they're doing a nice job of that right now. Remember, he's the kind of running back who gets better as the game goes on. That's a really good omen for this offense, considering his success now early.
Defense is about firing off, hitting the offensive guys, and staying in your gaps. Everybody knowing where they're supposed to be. You could tell the defense, everyone was right where they're supposed to be, nowhere to run.
The Beavers moving quickly to the line. They'll try to slam it in. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Beavers!
The offense goes as he goes, so really no surprise in the opening drive. They keep feeding him the football. He showed you all of his ability on that TV.
The extra point here would tie the game. And he tacks on the extra point. They march 79. DB's right up on the receivers. Dropping back, it's Lindsey. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down, 2nd down coming.
And this defense, we know, they present a lot of challenges. And you could see it right there, man. They shrink windows fast. They're a top 25 defense for a reason. You really better make sure you're dialed in today, or else they can make you pay in a hurry.
From the gun, wants to pass. He lofts it high and deep down the left side. Complete downfield. Works his way to the 4-yard line, and they'll have it first and goal. And the Golden Gophers started this drive backed up in their own end, and now they've moved into position to score. A first down run in the red zone. He's got it down to the 1-yard line right on the doorstep of Pater. Looking for just one more yard. It's second and goal. Tries again to get it in. And there was nowhere to go. Just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. Third and goal, where the fire purifies and separates contenders and pretenders. Grab behind the line. It's Taylor. And he'll run it into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota!
This offense right now, they're doing some damage through the air. That's now their second passing touchdown. They thought coming into this game they were going to have some matchups on the perimeter of the field that they could take advantage of, and they've done that so far here today.
And let's check it
from this one, guys.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Johnson looking to throw. Fires to the right. A strike downfield. And he was loose and out the gate and doesn't go down until he gets to the 48-yard line.
That's what's so scary about this offense. They've got guys in the perimeter that can change the game in one single play, and you saw it right there. Too much speed on the perimeter to create that explosive play.
Wants to throw on first down. Under fire. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance.
Yeah, this offense might want to think about moving the launch point for this QB, because if you take hits like that from the pocket, it's really tough to complete passes.
Under fire. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down.
This offensive line's got to do a better job. I mean, he doesn't even have time to go through his progressions. You got to give your QB some time. You got to make him feel comfortable. They didn't. They got it.
Breaks into the open. Oh, what a cut. Touchdown, Oregon State. Made the grab and then did the rest himself, and they put points on the board.
And I like this offense not panicking, executing on this drive, and driving down the field and tying this football game up. I love the no panic, just stay chill, and now we got ourselves a football game.
Extra point here will tie the game. And he added the extra point. Quick work on that scoring drive.
Throw, if guys are open vertically down the field, I got to hit them too. We can't let our serve get broken.
Dropping back, it's Lindsey. Just a little bit too much juice on that one as the freshman was taking a shot.
I think for the quarterback, he's going to have to be so good with his eyes in this game. You're going up against one of the best defenses in the country. You've got to look guys off, especially when you're trying to throw to your primary target like he was on that last one.
And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
Great job of containing by this defense. And in order to do that, the end man on the line of scrimmage defensively has got to be able to set the point and force the football back into traffic. And that's exactly what happened there.
He'll loft one deep down the left side. Got it in stride inside the 20. That is exactly what you want to do with the football. He's got it all the way down to the 15-yard line. The Golden Gophers are moving quickly down the field. They send the tight end in motion. Off play action on first down. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be second down.
One of the things I love about this kid is that he goes to work. He struggled his last game out, completed less than 50% of his throws. So back to the drawing board, back to fundamentals, and you can see that paying dividends in this game. I know he just threw an incompletion, but for the most part, this guy has been smart.
Already in field goal range, but now trying to convert this third and long from the 20. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. Here's the pressure. And that one's going to be over everybody's head and incomplete.
Really nice third down sub defense there that time. It's third and long. They're expecting a pass. They're mixing up their looks. They're trying to change the picture pre-snap to post-snap to confuse the quarterback. Now forcing the incompletion, setting up fourth.
And he curls that thing just inside the left upright. And now they regain the lead. Oregon State has it back, and here comes the Beaver offense. Took the last drive in for a touchdown. They'll try to do it again on this one. Into a mass of giant bodies. We'll call it a 1-yard gain to the 24.
And you want to run the football. That's okay. You'll take some of these. But if they start to add up down the road, obviously, you might want to think about airing it out a little bit.
Johnson wants to throw it. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact on the play, but no flags. It'll be third down.
Not many receivers like to get hit. They just don't, okay? They're prima donnas. That's what they are. That's who they are. Nice job by the defender. You could tell he was catching the football. He was going to put a hit on him to make sure he had to think about something later, and you could see the ball pop out and fall to the ground.
Just what they were looking for to get this drive rolling. They're out to the 35. And the Beavers getting set on 1st and 10. Here's a quick throw out to the left.
I like the decision by the quarterback here. Just get the ball out of your hands. Get it to your playmaker. A lot of times they'll dance and make even bigger plays than he did here, but it was still a positive game.
The Beavers can really attack on this 2nd and short. The give to the running back from the shotgun. They'll get it to the 48. No need to measure. It's a 1st down.
And on 2nd down, a lot of times, I don't know why, you just, as a defense, you go pass. You think passing situations, passing downs. Really good job by the offense, committing to the run game, not abandoning it, not getting yourself in a 3rd down situation where you had to throw the football.
And that's why this guy is such a weapon in this offense, because you don't have to throw it far downfield. Just get the ball in his hands. He catches it close to the line of scrimmage, but look what he was able to do after the catch. He gets an explosive play for this offense.
From the gun, the ground game. Snowed under right at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play.
Well, you love to see that from the defense, right? It's like bend, don't break. They've given up a bunch of plays on this drive, but now that they're getting down close to field goal range, you're seeing them start to stiffen up there.
Yeah, and plays don't matter anymore.
And he makes the catch inside the 10. Touchdown, Beaver! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. I'll tell you what, keep that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And he made the extra point without problem. They marched 78 yards down the field. First time we've seen their punt team this afternoon. He gets the first one off, and he was busier than he hoped in that loss last week, being called on 5 times. And the returner will be brought down. That's the end of the 2nd quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update.
Guys, you've been calling a lively one from there in Corvallis. And this has just been a passing clinic, really, by both offenses. They've effectively stretched these defenses, forcing the secondaries to cover every blade of grass, and they've still racked up big plays. Man or zone, pick your poison, or lay some blame at the feet of those pass rushers who can't do anything against the maulers on that offensive line. And with that, let's send it back to the fellas inside Reser Stadium.
Thanks for that.
This segment is powered by our friends over at Castor and Cask Brewing Company. When the day's work is done and the dam is secure, there's only one way to wind down. Located in the heart of the valley, Castor and Cask is craft brewing with a wild side. From their award-winning Log Jam IPA to the smooth, dark Muddy Bank Stout, every pint is brewed with local hops and mountain-fed water. It's crisp, it's refreshing, and it's earned its place at the top of the food chain. Whether you're celebrating a big win or just cooling off after a long haul, head down to the tap room and tell them the lodge sent you. Castor and Cask Brewing Company, respect the river, drink the beer.
Welcome to The Debate. We are breaking down a very tense Week 11 halftime out in Corvallis. The number 22 ranked Oregon State Beavers are clinging to a 21-17 lead over Minnesota. But, well, if you look past the score, the numbers are telling two completely different stories.
They certainly are. You've got a scoreboard that says Oregon State is winning, and then you have a stat sheet that says they are, holding on for dear life. Total yardage is dead even at exactly 235 yards apiece.
Right, which really sets up our central question for the second half. Is this lead the result of clutch, high-pressure execution by a team that deserves its ranking? Or do those defensive numbers signal a collapse is imminent?
I'm seeing a team that is mastering situational football. When their defense is getting torched on every standard down, Minnesota is exposing some deep structural flaws here.
You call it magic, but I call it execution. Coach War talked all week about pressure makes the program, and we're seeing that unfold on third down. That is the money down, the play where you either extend a drive or you give the ball back. And Oregon State is 5 for 5.
100%, yeah.
That's a 100% conversion rate. That isn't luck. That is elite composure under pressure. They are keeping drives alive exactly when they have to.
Mm-hmm. I see why you'd latch onto that, but 100% is, it's the very definition of unsustainable. It's a statistical anomaly. You can't bank on being perfect on third down for a full 60 minutes. Meanwhile, look at how easily Minnesota is moving the ball. This is supposed to be a physical, run-first team, yet they're absolutely shredding Oregon State through the air. Drake Lindsey has 230 passing yards in just 2 quarters. That's nearly 13 yards every time he drops back to pass.
It is a high number, I'll give you that. But you're ignoring the response. It's not just about stopping them, it's about answering them. Every time Minnesota punches, the Beavers counter immediately. Gabari Johnson is completing nearly 70% of his throws. He hit Trent Walker for that critical 36-yard touchdown right at the end of the half. That's not a team hoping to survive. That's an offense striking quickly to reclaim the momentum.
But they have to strike quickly because the defense can't get off the field. You mentioned Johnson, but let's look at the matchups. Minnesota's running back Darius Taylor has 2 receiving touchdowns. That tells me Oregon State's linebackers are completely lost in coverage. If a running back is beating you deep, your defensive scheme is broken. If the offense regresses even slightly, say they miss just one of those third downs, Minnesota takes this lead instantly.
That's a fair concern about the linebackers, sure. But Oregon State has an X factor that Minnesota can't seem to solve either. Anthony Hankerson. He's got a touchdown on the ground and that 48-yard touchdown catch. When you have a back who forces the defense to cover the entire field like that, it really neutralizes Minnesota's physicality. He provides a versatility that keeps that offensive efficiency going.
He is having a great half, no doubt. But again, I'm looking at the law of averages here. If Oregon State can't figure out how to stop a passing attack that's put up 230 yards and a half, Hankerson's heroics just won't matter. The math favors the team gaining chunks of yards on first and second down, not the team living on the edge on third down. Minnesota has already hit big plays, like that 50-yard bomb to Coleman. They are marching up and down the field.
You're focusing heavily on the yardage, but you're ignoring what I'd call the hidden yards, the mistakes that kill momentum. Oregon State has 0 penalties and 0 turnovers. In a game this tight, that discipline is worth just as much as a 50-yard pass. They aren't beating themselves. That is the hallmark of a top 25 team.
But Minnesota has 0 turnovers too. They're playing just as clean, only with significantly less resistance from the opposing defense. To me, the only thing stopping Minnesota right now is the red zone, while Oregon State is relying on absolute perfection. That feels fragile.
To me, it feels like they've arrived. They are executing perfectly in the high-leverage moments that define these tight games. They are handling the expectations.
And I'd maintain that unless Oregon State makes a drastic adjustment to stop the pass, that statistical tie in yardage is going to swing in Minnesota's favor the moment that third down luck runs out.
Well, we agree on one thing. The next 30 minutes will determine if this ranking is real or if they are, as Coach Ward's warned, thinking about rankings instead of reps.
Absolutely. This second half defines their season.
Thanks for listening to The Debate.
This segment is powered by our friends over at Castor and Cask Brewing Company. When the day's work is done and the dam is secure, there's only one way to wind down. Located in the heart of the valley, Castor and Cask is craft brewing with a wild side. From their award-winning Log Jam IPA to the smooth, dark Muddy Bank Stout, every pint is brewed with local hops and mountain-fed water. It's crisp, it's refreshing, and it's earned its place at the top of the food chain. Whether you're celebrating a big win or just cooling off after a long haul, head down to the tap room and tell them the lodge sent you. Castor and Cask Brewing Company, respect the river, drink the beer.
Golden Gophers will kick it off to start the second half. He'll start the return inside his 5. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. Oregon State takes over, ready to send the offense onto the field. Everything's been working so far. They've had it 3 times, reached the end zone on each occasion, and now there he goes! Moves up to the 34-yard line, give him a 10-yard pickup. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 34. Might as well run him until they stop him. He's got it again. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Johnson looking to throw. Grabbed in the middle. It's Williams. And just when you think you've seen every move, he's got another one, and he's out to the 40. The Beavers come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep this drive moving. In the gun, looking to throw on 3rd down. Catch in the middle, it's Williams. That'll be enough for the 1st down, and they'll mark it at the 48.
And it's on 3rd downs like this, if you want to attack the middle of the field, you got to look for the tight end. Really nice route. Great job looking that football in. You can tell this quarterback really has a lot of confidence when he's in the pocket looking for the big fella, and they're able to hook up there.
Defense needs to regroup as he gets it down to the 26.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This offense had so much success in that 1st half, so in the 3rd quarter, they come out, and the quarterback looks like he's still dealing. This has been a really nice drive. That was a really nice throw. Just keep doing what you're doing if you're on offense. This is going to be a big key for him, David, with the lead here in the 2nd half, running the football, right? Staying on the field and bleeding the clock.
Run the football, you're ahead, you can be a little bit more conservative, but again, this opens up the pass, this keeps everything in balance for this offense.
And the Beavers racing to the line in the hurry-up. Back to pass. Pocket breaking down. He's pulled down after a tough run, gets it to the 6.
Well, you're making a positive out of a negative, and that time, quarterback, nice job buying time. He's trying to throw the football downfield, nothing there, so instead of throwing it away and getting the incomplete, just get what you can get and make this next down more manageable.
They make the stop at the 5-yard line, and they've got it 1st and goal. The Beavers had tough field position to start this drive, but they've been relentless in moving the ball methodically down the field. Touchdown, Oregon State! Quick strike through the air for the score.
And it's so underrated, the relationship between a QB and a wide receiver, the timing, the ability to know where he's going to be and be accurate with the football, that's what leads to nice touchdowns, Jesse.
Well, and the chemistry between these two guys has to be great when you're throwing into the end zone because coverage is going to be tight. The throw might not be perfect, but this is something these two guys have been repping in practice over and over and over, and it's paying dividends now on game day.
Looking for those open spaces and opportunity. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. avoid the running back and leave it with him. Past the first down marker and still running. They finally get him stopped, but this veteran junior running back comes up with a nice play. Now on 1st and 10 from the 26. They'll give it to him again. Turning it on! And he's brought down at the 40-yard line, and that'll be a first down.
You ain't getting by all these guys right up the middle unless your offensive line and your tight ends and everybody is putting in the work up front, committing to blocking. The running back does a great job finding the hole, exploding through. How about that nice, big, huge gain? If I'm the OC, let's call that one again.
From the shotgun, the inside give.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
And the Golden Gophers with myriad options after that big pickup on first down. Pulls and fires complete. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down. The Golden Gophers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Taylor has it. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
And yeah, that's kind of surprising. And we talked about this before the game. One of the big matchups. Run the football against a defense that's been susceptible against the run throughout the season. But this offense just can't find a way to get it going. And I'm surprised, but now what's your counterpunch? How are you going to get the ground game going? Because so far, not a lot of success.
You know, a lot of people are going to look at that play and say, man, that was a bad play. Didn't get any yards. But that could be the offense maybe setting something up. The play caller is going to remember that last play. He's going to remember how the defense reacted to it, made a quick tackle. They might pump that throw and then hit another.
And the quarterback will be slung down back at the 43.
This offense is going to have to come up with a plan to block this guy. He is an absolute monster, and he showed you all his tools on that sack.
Down. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. On the move, looking for a little sliver of hope. That's the end of the period, and Oregon State has the lead. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. One quarter to go, and Mike, we have the makings of a classic fourth quarter finish. So the final period starts with a second down play. From the gun, running back gets the give. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
That's a really good stop by the defense. Jesse, they need a few more. You've given up a bunch of yards on this drive and a bunch of plays, but all that matters is keeping them off the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's that bend, don't break mentality you're seeing right now, and this is the point where this defense has just got to lock in.
Boy, the defense really needed to get off the field there, and they just couldn't do it, and it's a fresh set of downs.
Man, that hurts. When you're trailing late in the ball game, you need those stops, and you get them to third down. You get them to those critical points. Now they get the first down. You don't have many left. You better get aggressive.
At this point of the game, the offense has the lead. The offensive coordinator knows they want to keep running the football, so he's going back. He's looking at his playlist, and he's saying, which runs work the best for me in this game? What can I lean on right here to make sure we win this one?
Moves around to clear up the vision. Looking for the score. He got it. Can't wide cross the plane to get the 6, but they'll have the first down. He's been so locked in, it seems like any pass called is a guaranteed chunk play.
Yeah, and winning late like this in the ball game, keep trusting him, keep spinning. You know why? Because stats matter late in the game. You want some postseason awards? Keep chucking it, keep getting those stats.
Got stopped on first down. They'll try it again from the 2. Let's go. Quickly complete. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Beaver! They give themselves a little more cushion as they try to reel off their 4th straight win.
And Yeah, a lot of times late in football games, you'll see offenses get really, really conservative with the lead. I like how this offense didn't go against the clock. They stayed within themselves. They stayed true to who they were. And now, big-time advantage, big-time lead, up by 17 in the fourth quarter.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And now with the extra point, they're up by 18.
Keep your eye on the quarterback, rally to the football, gang tackle. You're going to win this game.
Looking for a man. It's Lindsey. Heaves it on the run. And this is dropped. Incomplete pass. He had a huge gain in his fingers and he couldn't hold on. The Golden Gophers line up trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. He'll pull it on the read. He didn't even have a chance to get back to the line. What a job by those defensive front.
That's got to hurt if you're the offense, because you're thinking with this quarterback and his size and his athleticism, that's going to be an easy first down pickup on the option play. But how about the physicality up front by this defense, stuffing him at the line of scrimmage?
Drop the football and they'll turn it over on downs. They thought they had a good plan, but it did not work. The give to the tailback. They get him on the ground, but not before he drives it to the 10-yard line. He now has 80 yards on the ground, and he just continues to turn in productive performance after productive performance. That's how you lead the nation in rushing. Right back to him on the ground. Ball is loose. Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football.
Great job by this defense, not getting down, not quitting. They gave up some yards. The offense got in the red zone, but the most important part of the field, they came up big, forced the fumble, and get the touchback.
We've got a timeout here as this coach is challenging the call. He wants to give the replay booth a chance to have another look. So he took a chance by using it to the field. They were really aggressive going for it in their own end last time and put them in a tough spot, David.
Yeah, aggressive, reckless. They got to find the balance with this offense to really be productive. And last possession they went for it, they rolled the dice, Palmer, and it didn't work out for them.
Yeah, if you're better on 3rd down moving forward, though, you can keep yourself out of those situations.
To throw, it's Lindsey. Rushes on him. And they get to the quarterback and knock him down back at the 16.
And how about that rush off of the edge? You could tell, man, playing pass all the way. Your team has a lead. Getting later in the football game, he's just pinning his ears back, and he flies off the edge and gets the big sack.
Now 3rd and long and trying to play catch-up in more ways than one after that earlier sack. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Got his man downfield. Smashes him with the stiff arm. Into enemy territory and out of bounds at the 48.
And this offense has got to kick it in high gear now. Making a big play, that is great, but we got to go up-tempo. We got to go fast. We're trailing big in this ball game. We got to put a lot of drives together and maybe even get lucky with an onside kick.
And they'll wrestle him to the ground after a short gain. And the Golden Gophers come to the line in the hurry-up. Second down, he'll throw it. Complete in the middle. They make the stop, but the sweet throw and catch is plenty to give them a first down.
A nice passing game by this offense. The quarterback and the receiver on the same page, in time, in rhythm, creates the big play. And look at them, they're right back on the...
Time running out, and he goes down at the 34. The Golden Gophers trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Back to pass on second down. Got it in the middle, it's Taylor. Pulled down for the tackle. They're close enough for a makeable field goal from the 26, but they'd love to convert this third and long. Back to pass, it's Lindsey. They're working that left side. Run out of bounds at about the 13-yard line, and that's where this offense will go back to work. Maybe this will breathe a little life into this offense, which has been flatlined in the second half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll run it behind the big guys on the left. Oh, what a move. And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Golden Gophers! After that, there might be a few extra tackling drills in practice this week.
Listen, and when you only got one guy there, it makes it really hard.
Running out of time here. They need to get the ball back. They'll line up for the onside kick. They got it. Able to recover the onside kick, and they get the offense right back out there.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team.
Too much contact after the fair catch signal, and it'll cost them here.
Ready, break. Slide 22. Slide 22.
They'll keep it on the ground, trying to milk the clock. Turns it on in midfield. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense.
I think a big key in this team's success today has been their ability to run the football. They've been able to just hand it off and go churn out yards. They've had this defense on their heels all game long. It's given them a big cushion in this game so far. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Quick timeout call by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Trying play action. Extending the play. Complete to the right. They'll ride him out of bounds after the good pickup spotted at the 25-yard line.
Defense just hasn't had an answer for this guy. He has been on point. This is about as good as I've seen him play at the quarterback position. And here in the 4th quarter with a big lead, he's still taking shots.
They pick up half of it. It'll be 2nd and 5. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. He'll keep it himself. Oh, he was in the backfield immediately, a 3-yard loss. They've moved it to the 25, but now facing a 3rd and long. Johnson wants to throw it. Here's a heat. Zings it complete to the right. He's got enough for the 1st down, and that ought to be enough to put them in victory formation for the rest of this one.
Well, this guy's been a go-to guy for this offense all game long. We've seen that, and here on a critical 3rd down late in the game with the lead, guess who shows up with another big one? That one.
A strong, methodical, workman-like effort from this team. No frills, just get the job done and get the win.
I love when you describe my teams like that. Just consistent, methodical, strong. I don't have to do things special every single week. All I'm supposed to do is get the W, and that's what they did.
And this is why practice is so important, guys. You can tell that this team was locked in way back earlier in the week. They watched the film. They got good looks in practice.
Welcome to the debate. So we're diving into Week 11, and specifically Oregon State's 35-24 victory over Minnesota. On the surface, a double-digit win against a Big Ten team looks like a pretty big statement. But the question we're really asking is this. Is this the full realization of Coach Caleb Ward's recalibrated offense, or was this performance just a statistical anomaly that's, masking some pretty serious flaws?
Well, I think it's the definition of an anomaly. I mean, you look at the scoreboard, you see a comfortable win. I look at the box score, and I see a team that basically defied probability. This wasn't sustainable dominance. It was a series of high-variance events that just broke perfectly for the Beavers.
See, I take the exact opposite view. I don't think this was luck at all. I think it was proof of concept. For weeks, we've heard all about this modern offense, and now we've finally seen it fire on all cylinders. The headline isn't just the 35 points. It's the situational mastery.
Oregon State went 9 for 9 on third downs.
Right.
I mean, that is 100%. You don't hit 100% on third down by accident. You do it because your quarterback, Gabari Johnson, is processing the field at just an elite level.
But that right there, that is the problem. In probability terms, going 9 for 9 is a statistical unicorn. You just can't replicate that. The league average is usually around 40%. If they go 6 for 9, which is still an incredible day, they probably lose this game. You cannot build a strategy around being perfect on the money down every single time. And look at the other side of the ball. Minnesota averaged 7.7 yards per play. So on a down-by-down basis, Minnesota was actually winning the physical battle. They were moving the ball almost at will.
Okay, they moved it between the 20s, sure, but you're ignoring the explosive production on the Oregon State side. This is the element we were promised all along. Johnson wasn't just checking down. He orchestrated 540 total yards of offense. He fed Trent Walker for 134 yards and, used Anthony Hankerson out of the backfield for another 76. This is Johnson getting his athletes into space, which is exactly what the scheme is designed to do.
Into space is the key phrase there, though. You're giving the quarterback all the credit, but look at the yards after catch, the yak. Hankerson had 76 receiving yards, but 77 of them were calculated as run after catch. That means he basically caught the ball at or even behind the line of scrimmage and did all the work himself. So, yeah, that inflates Johnson's stat line. And let's not forget, despite all this efficiency, Oregon State actually lost the turnover battle. Usually, if you lose the turnover margin and give up nearly 8 yards a play, you get blown out.
But if we're going to talk about giving up yards, we have to talk about why Minnesota didn't capitalize on them. You're kind of glossing over the defensive front. T. Blake was a wrecking ball. 2.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. That pressure is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter if Minnesota gains yards if they get sacked right out of field goal range. That's why Minnesota only scored 7 points in the first quarter and 7 in the fourth. When the game was on the line, the pressure got home.
The pressure got home occasionally, I'll give you that. But the secondary was basically non-existent. Minnesota's quarterback threw for 320 yards. That's more than Johnson. And crucially, when Minnesota got into the red zone, that pressure just vanished. They were 3 for 3 on red zone touchdowns. That tells me the defense bends and breaks. They just got lucky that the clock ran out before Minnesota could get another crack at it.
I think you're confusing luck with discipline. I mean, look at the mental errors. Oregon State had 0 penalties. None. Minnesota had 15 penalty yards. That speaks to a well-coached team that's peaking at exactly the right time. You don't just accidentally put up 540 yards and commit 0 penalties. That is pure execution, and it counters the yardage you're so worried about.
Okay, 0 penalties is commendable, I'll grant you that. But my concern is just how fragile the win condition was. Minnesota's complete inability to make a stop on third down was the only thing separating this from a shootout loss. If that third down variance swings back to the mean, and it always does, that defense is going to cost them games down the line. You can't ask your offense to be perfect every week just to survive.
Well, we'll see if the variance swings, but for now, going 9 for 9 shows that the quarterback and the play caller are finally totally in sync. 35 points against a Big Ten defense isn't a mirage. I think it's the new standard.
It was an entertaining standard, no doubt. But, math has a pretty nasty habit of catching up to teams who rely on perfection.
The offense has clearly arrived. I guess we'll find out if the defense can hold up its end of the bargain next week. Thanks for listening to The Debate.